Yo, so what's going on, Battlefielders? It is Pwn, and I'm bringing you guys something a little bit different, something I don't think I've really done on my channel before. I lied, I did it with the first Caspian video I did, but that was a live commentary, that's different. This is actually going to be a full-length, full video from start to finish. I know, it's everything, puberty, everything's involved, so since I planted my first little wee bomb, my first bomb, all the way to the very end, guys, so hope you enjoy the full gameplay. It was about an 18-19 minute gameplay before I actually edited out all the like kill cams and stuff like that. So, I hope you guys enjoy the fact that I do that. I put a lot of effort and time into just cutting and piecing some of these videos together. So, anyways, we're going to cut into this real quick. And I want to talk about the roles in Battlefield 3. As many of you guys know that I am a very, very high, experienced FPS player. So whether or not it's, Team Fortress 2, Call of Duty, Battlefield, though I am relatively new to Battlefield, I'm still learning. Understand this, guys? Everybody makes mistakes. So when I get on my videos and I see people saying, Pwn, you need to revive more. Pwn, you need to drop more medpacks. Pwn, you need to buy me a cheeseburger because I didn't eat lunch today. You guys demand a lot out of us commentators. You guys got to understand, and you need to respect a little bit more that we put out content for you guys, and we try to make you guys happy and entertain you guys. Thus, yeah, maybe we did something wrong or we weren't supporting the team enough. Everybody is guilty of not reviving a guy at a certain time. Everybody makes a mistake in games. It's a video game, guys. Understand. Some of these people and some of these, since I am relatively new to the Battlefield crowd, some of you guys are diehard. It has to be this way. If you're not doing this way, you suck dick. Guys, understand that I might not play the game the way you play it or the way you want me to play it, but it's the way I play the game. I enjoy playing it that way, and I feel that I am a use to my team. So, with that being said, I wanted to talk about the roles. Everybody knows the classes involved. Everybody knows the classes such as recon, support, all of that good stuff. And everybody knows what they're supposed to do. Assuming that you guys have played Battlefield, you know what each class has, So each class is built a specific way to, help and impact. So the equipment matches the player and the guns match the equipment. So you play the game that you want to play and you pick the class that you want to play and you try to support your team the best way you can. The way that I like to play and the way that I'm notorious for playing is I am a well-known slayer, whether or not it's Call of Duty or Battlefield. I am known to be a guy that is out there to get a kill. And right here was a big moment. I was relying on my team right there to take this guy out. At no point should we have had the objective and he could have been pushed this far up. And this goes for everybody. You seeing this? 1, 2, oh, patty cake, 3, yeah. So a lot of people are always on my ass about, hey, Pwn, why don't you revive? And I gotta simply put it this way. I make judgment calls. The last video I put up yesterday, a lot of people were like, Pwn, you just walked by 3 bodies. Why didn't you revive them? You need to play the game worse. Go back to COD. Understand this, guys. You are immature. So all these guys that think they're high and mighty on the Battlefield crowd that say, go back to COD, just shows how immature you are. I play the game, and I try to do the best I can. I make judgment calls. They might not always be right, but I make the calls. So the moment where I skipped over 3 guys to revive yesterday was in the moment where I was rushing to defuse our last bomb and keep the game alive. Did anybody notice that I sacrificed not reviving my guys to get to the bomb and try to defuse it? And what happened? I died trying to do it. But I went for the attempt. Had I have actually succeeded, we would have still been alive. Maybe I could have gone back and revived those guys. Maybe they could have respawned. That's what it comes down to, is you got to make decisions. You got to make decisions in Battlefield. It's not as simple as Call of Duty and just run and gun. It's not like that. You got to make decisions and try to impact your team and hope you did it the right way. Now, I want to do a little bit here talking about the roles. Now, there are a couple ways that you could play this game, one of which could be like a support role, where, you're not too confident in your gaming skills, or maybe you are. Maybe you're confident in your slaying role. Maybe you can go out there and kill guys, and you can maneuver the map. You can get around people, and you can revive your team. Maybe you're good at, tossing out ammo, tossing the Skittles to all the kiddies. Maybe you're good at doing that. So there are a couple different roles. I think there's a great defending role, support role. I think there's a great support and role, and I think there's pretty much, I don't know how to name these properly, so I'm going to go with a defender, a support, and a slayer role. So, all of these, you're forced to do. If you're on the offense, you're on the attacker side, thus the objective is to be a push. So all of you guys are technically on the assault. You're all attacking. Can there be a defensive attacker? Yes. Can there be an attacking defender? Yes. You got to understand, sometimes a strong defense is a very strong offense, and vice versa. So for everybody that's saying, Pwn, you shouldn't be rushing. Why do you go that far into their spawn? Why do you do this? I'm suppressing them. Every time I kill a guy, what's that mean? He's got to spawn on somewhere else. That area of the map is wide open. So if I go through 4 guys, this whole wing over here on the side of the map that I'm on right now is free. It's wide open for us to do whatever we want. We could sit down and play some checkers if we want. I cleared the way. Now that is the importance of a Slayer role. I'm going to get into a Defender role real quick. Now Defender is very, very important when it comes down to it. They're really, really tuned into spotting people. If they're using the Recon class, they can set up a mobile spawn point, motion sensor, whatever you need to do to support your team. They're very, very essential. Now all of these roles play important parts in this game. There's not one role that you need more than the other. There are different roles that might help in a certain situation, but not necessarily what you need more than other. And I'm proud to be a Slayer. And I need to explain that you could be a Slayer, but have you not noticed? I don't know if you're this far into the game. Many people would be like, Pwn, why didn't you run over there to the right to revive that guy? He's on the other side of the map. If he's down right there, there's a good chance the enemy is still around, which he was. Thus, I got over here, and I'm going to try to clean these guys out, because I don't want them cutting off one of the easiest ways to rush around and capture B. You got to make judgment calls. You got to try to find your way to manipulate, get in there, and force them to just surrender to what you're willing to do. So, with the defense role, you got to put up the support. You got to cover guys. You got to spot guys. If you're actually into communicating, you could do it. Say, there's 2 behind B, there's 1 planning, I'm defusing, so on and so forth. And a defender doesn't always have to be a defender. Understand that you can change your playstyle, you can change your gun up anytime you want. You never have to play a certain way. It's actually very, very smart to be, leveling up. So maybe out on the front side, I could have been a recon and more of a support role where I could sit back, kill guys, pick people off, let my guys plant. But when it comes on to being inside the subway, I pull out my PDW right here, and I just go to work on them. I push through, and I try to do what I can. Now, a good, solid rush is essentially the key. That's what I'm trying to do right here. I'm trying to make it all the way down to the end and give that surprise rush. They are not expecting me to get around there and plant B. So sometimes I may rush too hard, and it doesn't always work out too well. But I am very confident in my gun skills. I'm not trying to be cocky or anything like that. But I find that I'm a very, very useful Slayer. And that's one thing that I do better. I'm a better Slayer than I do anything. And one thing that I'm willing to admit that I really do wrong or I don't do enough of is I don't toss those health packs out enough. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because it's not one of the large maps. It's more like a Call of Duty paced map where it's all fast paced. I do not put out the health packs enough. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I honestly don't. So that's something I definitely need to work on. I'm willing to admit that. But when it comes down to people saying, "Hey, Pwn, why didn't you revive these guys?" and then they don't listen. They don't pay attention to see, oh, well, maybe if he goes out there, he's going to get killed. You got to make a call. Is it worth going out and reviving a guy if that means you got to possibly put yourself in danger? You're just going to give them another death. Why is that smart? It's not. You guys got to understand that you got to play your role properly, and you got to do it as experienced as you can. See, right here, I got revived. He did a really, really good job, except for he shouldn't have revived me when there's like 3 guys in the room. It turned out okay. It made it look successful. He revived me, and he bailed out of the room, leaving me there heavy, wet, just to get taken care of. Not a smart move. So there are ways to play your character right and your role right, and there's ways to play them wrong. And I'm not sitting here telling you guys how to do it. Understand that this is my opinion. And there he is reviving me again. That was a perfect situation where you should not revive somebody. That hallway is one of the heaviest areas of conflict in the entire map. And he revived me right at the end of it. What's that going to mean? That means I'm going to die. And if I had have actually revived myself, that would have given them another kill. So not only did he take the time to pull out his defib to try to revive me, that means he's eligible to be flanked. That's a moment where he doesn't have his gun out. If he doesn't have his gun out, he can't fight back. As well as he could have been visible to the enemy if he was peeking around that corner trying to revive me. So that was a moment where he didn't play his role properly. Now, and I know it might seem mean, but I honestly feel that. He should not have revived me in that situation. I'm glad he's trying to revive. I don't know if he's just doing it for points or if he's trying to help out the team. Either way, he's doing his role. He just made a wrong call right there. And that's what I keep coming back to, is decisions. You got to try to play your role properly. Now, I rush, I go hard, I try to flank, I get in there, I try to kill people. Even though I'm on assault, killing is a very, very essential role. It suppresses the team. It keeps them back at their spawn. It keeps them at bay. They got to keep respawning. They're farther and farther behind. And with that being said, they're farther away from the objectives. It's allowing my team to push up. So a Slayer is essential on defense, and it's even more useful, on offense, on attackers, than it is on defenders. But it's even more essential on defenders, because if you're playing an assault role and you're killing people, that's their tickets. That's their lives that you're taking away. So when I go out there and I play heavily, and I go in there and I rush, even though I should be maybe babysitting the objective, that's me killing 30 guys per area of the map, and that's taking out a third of their respawn. That's a third of their tickets. That means throughout the rest of the time, the rest of my team, I'm trying to rely on to maintain killing the other 70 guys so we can be victorious. So there's many ways to play your role. You got to find out what you're good at. And I'm confident in my slaying skills. I'm confident that I can rush and sneak. And, see, right here is the moment. I made a choice call. Should I sneak around and take B, or should I go for A? I find A is a little bit harder to get inside and retrieve. I know B, they spawn right by, but it's usually a little bit more difficult for me to get inside A and hold it down. A simple nade can wash it out. If 4 people get inside there and try to hold it down, it's really, really difficult to get, where B is a little easy to flank and get inside. You got to make decisions. So I decided to sit up here and start taking these guys, picking them off, allowing my guys to rush from the left side and get inside that building so we can properly take A. You got to play your role properly. And that's just what I'm trying to say. So when you guys get mad at me or judge me for not reviving a guy, there's probably a decision that I made to do so. There's a reason for being. If he's maybe too open in the public for him to be, out there. Maybe I didn't want to be out there because if I go out there, I'm jeopardizing myself, and why give them the chance to do it again? So sometimes it might not be the right move to revive a guy. You want to, but it doesn't mean you need to. So with that being said, I just wanted to put some water on the fire to let you guys understand that I try to play my role as best I can. I'm not a slayer. I do not play this game. Yeah, I may be a slayer and I may be going for kill streaks, and it might be definitively about kills for me in Call of Duty. That's not how it is for Battlefield. Battlefield is an objective gameplay. Have you kept count? Have I played in 3 or 4 objectives already? Out of 8? While rushing, and I revived people, and I tossed a couple health packs? I try. So it might not be perfect, and I make mistakes. Sometimes I should have revived a guy. Sometimes I overlook a guy. Everybody's understanding of this. But you guys got to understand that I think the role that I play best is Slayer. And so when I play this game, if you do not like seeing people that slay and try to suppress the team and try to, take out the tickets and the lives and stuff and try to limit the other team to being successful, then just do not watch my videos. I'm tired of seeing people that complain about how I play my game. And it's just how it is. So if you like to play, go for it. 90% of the people that play this game, okay, so that was a little bit of an exaggeration. At least half of the people that I think played this game were generally the assault class. So they had the med kits, and they could have healed and done all that good stuff too. But also some of the best weapons in the game are on the assault class. That's why I play it, because I have all these guns that I love to play. They have the F2000, and PDW is, one of those random guns out there, but, it's an all kit, but, no, wait, is it? I don't know. So, like I said, guys, there's a way to play this game, and there's a way to not play this game. Many people make mistakes. Like that guy, I know intentionally didn't sacrifice me when he tried to revive me. He was just trying to help the team out and do me a solid, and I praise him for that. He's trying to do something, compared to the 4 other guys that were probably around me not willing to pay attention or get in there. Now when the guy initially revived me and didn't stay in that room to help cover me while I, revived and got up and stood up, and he just revived me and bailed out of there, that wasn't a smart move. You should stay there with your guys, because 2 is better than 1. And that's just how you got to do it. So you got to think as a team. You got to make calls. You got to make decisions. You can't just carelessly play this game, because you're just going to limit your team. So when I say my team's not going good, or I yell at my team, which I do in the chat all the time, because I get disappointed if people aren't doing that, and that's just how I am. I rage a lot, and I'm not trying to say that's good. I mean, it's definitely a flaw, but I don't know, and I always shoot my own things too. So, with that being said, I try to do what I can. I try to revive people when I can. But that's if they're in front of me. I'm not going to go out of my way to the other side of the map to revive a guy. That's not my role. I could play that role if I want to, but that's not my role. I'm not going to go across the map and issue possibly getting killed trying to revive a guy. He got killed, and that's his fate. If I was by him, I'd revive him. Hopefully somebody else is by him to revive him. I'm not a babysitter. You guys got to understand that if that's the role that you want to play that role. If you're not that great of a slayer, that's the perfect role for you. And I'm not trying to say slayers are better than anything like that. I do think that they're a little bit rare and a little bit harder to come by, because, it takes a lot of skill to be able to rush and slay properly. But at the same time, a defender with a sniper way back in the back of the map where I'm getting shot, it's just as resourceful. All these roles are equal. You just got to figure out what you're best at. And you got to understand that though it might not be the way you play, and I hate campers and I hate people that sit with the MK11 mod at the back of the map, it's effective and it's helping their team. I hate it like hell. But the reason that we hate a lot of this stuff is because it's effective. So, with that being said, the map's wrapping up. I hope you guys have understood and understand where I come from when I play this. I like to make decisions when it comes down to it. So if I run by a guy, it's probably because I'm trying to finish off a rush and I think I can sneak around and get something done. I don't generally leave people just sitting there waiting for a revive. If I can do it, I usually do. So, I just wanted to address that. I hope you enjoyed the full gameplay. It's been the PDW-R. And I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. So, there's the end of it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think about the roles and the classes and how they should be played and how you play it. Put it down below and let me know what you guys think about it. Peace. Get it.